Mapusaurus, the giant phantom of the Cretaceous. Close your eyes and imagine this. You're walking across a barren land more than 95 million years ago. There are no buildings, no humans, only the sound of wind sweeping across vast semi-arid plains, broken by scattered woodlands and winding rivers. Suddenly, the ground begins to tremble. Not because of an earthquake, not because of thunder, but because a group of enormous creatures is approaching. And leading them is one of the deadliest predators ever to walk the earth, Mapusaurus, the giant hunter of Patagonia. The Age of Giants. Patagonia in the Late Cretaceous. Mapusaurus lived around 97 to 93 million years ago, during the Late Cretaceous, in what is now Patagonia, Argentina. This land was more than just its home. It was the stage for some of the most dramatic clashes in natural history. Picture a semi-arid savanna, hot and storm-prone, crisscrossed by mighty rivers and dotted with groves of prehistoric trees. Everywhere you look are herds of colossal plant eaters. Argentinosaurus, stretching over 30 meters long and weighing nearly 70 tons, the largest land animal ever known. Andysaurus and other sauropods that dwarfed almost everything else alive. And lurking in the shadows, waiting for weakness, stood Mapusaurus, evolution's answer to these titans. The very name Mapusaurus carries deep meaning. It comes from the Mapuche language of South America and can be translated as lizard of the earth or lizard of the people. Its identity is forever tied to the culture and land that revealed its bones. Size and appearance. The southern apex predator Mapusaurus was no small hunter. In fact, it rivaled the legendary Tyrannosaurus rex of North America in sheer size, though it bore a very different design. Length, 11 to 12 meters, possibly larger in exceptional individuals. Weight, between 5 and 7 tons, heavy enough to shake the ground as it walked. Skull, up to 1.3 meters long, lined with serrated teeth shaped like razor-sharp knives. Body build, more slender and streamlined than T-Rex, granting greater speed and endurance. Legs, powerful hind limbs built for chasing and maneuvering. Arms, small compared to the body, but muscular and functional. If Tyrannosaurus was the brute force king, Mapusaurus was the swift and strategic assassin, a predator designed not just for brute power, but for bringing down the largest prey on Earth. The environment. Land of giants. The Patagonia of the Late Cretaceous was far from gentle. This was a land of shifting rivers, seasonal droughts, violent storms, and unpredictable floods. Yet it was also the paradise of giants. Colossal sauropods evolved to enormous sizes to defend themselves against predators. But as herbivores grew larger, so too did their hunters. Mapusaurus emerged as nature's balancing force, a predator big enough, fast enough, and smart enough to challenge even the towering Argentinosaurus. When herds of sauropods moved, they left behind massive pathways across the plains, and somewhere nearby, concealed within the sparse forests or hills, predators watched. In those shadows lurked the crimson eyes of Mapusaurus, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Behavior. The wolf pack of the dinosaur world. Perhaps the most extraordinary discovery about Mapusaurus is what the fossil evidence suggests. They may have hunted in packs. In Patagonia, paleontologists uncovered a site where the remains of multiple Mapusaurus individuals lay together. This wasn't one predator, but many, all preserved in the same place. The evidence hinted at something extraordinary, a pack of giant hunters. Imagine it, a group of 6, maybe even 10 Mapusaurus, surrounding an Argentinosaurus, towering like a moving mountain. They dart in and out, biting its legs, slashing at its sides, harassing it until exhaustion sets in. Hours later, the titan collapses and the pack swarms, tearing into tons of flesh. If true, this would make Mapusaurus one of the few dinosaurs to use cooperative pack hunting, like wolves or lions today. Not just predators, but organized killers. Of course, the theory is debated. Some scientists argue the fossil site may simply represent individuals that died together, perhaps from drought. But the image of Mapusaurus as a coordinated team of hunters remains one of the most thrilling and terrifying possibilities in paleontology. Weapons of a killer, the shark-toothed giants. Mapusaurus belonged to the family Carcharodontosauridae, meaning shark-toothed lizards, and its teeth lived up to that name. Thin, blade-like teeth built for slicing flesh. Serrated edges like a bread knife, capable of sawing through meat. Unlike T-Rex, which had bone-crushing jaws, Mapusaurus used a cut-and-bleed strategy, inflicting deep wounds to weaken prey over time. Each bite was like a slashing blade. Victims of Mapusaurus may not have died instantly, but bled out, collapsing from shock and blood loss. It was a terrifyingly efficient way to hunt giants. Unsolved mysteries. Despite the discoveries, Mapusaurus remains shrouded in mystery. 1. Did they truly hunt in packs? Evidence points toward it, but the debate rages on. Were they true cooperative hunters or just opportunistic scavengers gathering at a kill? 2. What threats did they face? As apex predators, they had few natural enemies, but conflict within the pack, competition for food, or fights for dominance may have been brutal. 3. Why did they vanish? Like many predators, their fate was tied to prey populations. If the sauropods they hunted declined, Mapusaurus may have starved into extinction long before the final asteroid ended the age of dinosaurs. Symbolism, strength and unity. Mapusaurus has become more than just another dinosaur fossil. It represents something larger, the power of unity. If T-Rex was the lone king of the north, Mapusaurus was the warlord of the south, leading not alone, but with a legion. Its story is not just about size or teeth, but about cooperation among killers, a vision of dinosaurs as more complex, social predators than once imagined. Each fossilized tooth, each jawbone, each vertebra tells us not only of a predator, but of a world where the balance of life was tested daily by creatures of unimaginable scale. Conclusion: Ghosts of Patagonia. Today, if you stand in the windswept deserts of Patagonia, you see only rocks, sand, and silence. But 95 million years ago, the land thundered with footsteps, roars, and the clash of titans. Among them, stalking with ruthless intent, was Mapusaurus, the giant phantom of the Cretaceous. Though it vanished millions of years ago, its legend lives on. A predator with teeth like sharks, a body built for pursuit, and perhaps most haunting of all, a killer that did not hunt alone. Mapusaurus is more than a fossil. It is a myth of blood and unity, a reminder that even in the harshest prehistoric wilderness, survival was not always about being the biggest or the strongest. Sometimes it was about working together. And in that world of giants, Mapusaurus stood at the very top.